Happy Friday. I'm sorry I'm not there to celebrate the end of the week with you guys and to do this practice Socratic seminar. But as we talked about yesterday, we were going to do a practice run today, and you guys are going to look back over the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, the passage, and I want you to read over that just for a second. And while you are reading over that, Miss Blackman is going to make sure everybody has their name tag, and your little nameplate should be sitting out in front of your desk. You guys should be facing each other. Arrange yourselves in a way that you're facing each other. Your nameplate is on top of your desk. And I want you to read back over the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Miss Blackman is going to give you a paper that has some samples of ideas and values on it. And as you read over your passage again, I just want you to look through these ideas and values and see which of these are reflected in the passage. So, for example, one of the ideas and values that is listed as habits. And in the title, this is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So, yesterday we took a look at the passage and we noticed that each habit is numbered 1 through 7. So I would put a little mark by the word habits. If you're a highly effective person and you're following these 7 habits, then you're knowledgeable. So I would put a dot beside of knowledge. If you are a highly effective person, then you probably obtain a lot of wisdom. So I would put a dot beside of wisdom. So right now, I just want you to read over the ideas and values sheet and read over your 7 Habits of Highly Effective People passage one more time. This will probably be like the 4th time you've read it. And I want you to just put a dot by each of those ideas and values that you see reflected in the passage. And you can pause this video while you do that. Okay. So I'm assuming that you have resumed the video and you have read over the passage. Now what I want you to do is I want you to look at all of the little dots that you put, and I want you to circle the one that you feel like is the most evident in the passage, that you find that's most important, most relevant. Yesterday, we went through these slides that I'm thumbing through now. We went over the vocabulary. We read it together. You read it on your own. And today, we are going to discuss this passage. So, welcome to our first Padea seminar. To call this seminar to order, I'm going to read over some instructions to you so you kind of know what to expect and know what everybody's role is in the seminar. So a Padea seminar is a collaborative intellectual dialogue about a text facilitated with open-ended questions. The main purpose of the seminar is to arrive at a fuller understanding of the textual ideas and values of ourselves and of each other. I'm primarily responsible just for asking questions, open-ended, challenging questions, and I will take a variety of notes to keep up with the talk turns and flow of ideas. So Ms. Blackman will be doing that for me today. I will help move the discussion along in a productive direction by asking follow-up questions based on my notes. So I'm asking you to think, listen, and speak candidly about your thoughts, reactions, and ideas. You can help each other do this by using each other's names. That's why you have your nameplates on your desk, so you can refer to each other by name. You do not need to raise your hands in order to speak. Rather, the discussion is collaborative in that you try to stay focused on the main speaker and you wait your turn to talk. You should try to both agree and disagree in a courteous, thoughtful manner. For example, you might say, I disagree with Johanna because, and then focus on the ideas involved, not the individuals. Okay, now at the top of your passage, I want you, above the title, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, you are going to choose a goal for yourself. And here's some examples of goals. Your goal today might be to speak at least 3 times. It may be to refer to your text when you speak. It may be to ask someone a question. It could be to speak out of uncertainty. Sometimes it takes a lot of courage for you to speak up in front of your peers, and you might not know if you're on the right track or not. So, as far as what you're thinking, but you're going to just say it anyway. Or to build on other people's comments. So you might say, I agree with what Mary just said because, and then you're going to refer back to the text and explain why you agree with her. Or you may say, I disagree with Mary because the text says this. So your number one goal for this seminar is to speak and refer back to the passage constantly. RI 1 says that we can cite textual evidence to infer what the text is saying. So you're going to discuss what you think is the author's main goal in the text is for you guys to learn, and you are going to share thoughts on that, and you're going to agree and you're going to disagree. So right now, is there one of these goals that might be relevant for you? Please choose one goal from the list or that you feel is best and write it down and commit to achieving it during the discussion we're about to have. So write that on your paper now. What is your goal for the day's seminar? We also have a group goal. So the group goal is going to be for us all to speak at least one time. All right, so with this seminar, it's either pass or fail. So if you speak, you make 100. If you don't speak, you make a 0. Ms. Blackman's going to keep up with who comments and how many times they comment. Some of us are very vocal, and we have a lot of ideas and a lot of opinions, and I definitely want to hear those opinions today. But at the same time, some of us are shy and quiet, and it's not as easy for us to speak out. So those people who are vocal, I want you to be careful not to talk too much. When I ask a question, pause just a little bit and give somebody else a moment to answer. And if you notice that there are people who haven't had the opportunity to speak up, sometimes it's hard to find that opportunity to jump in on the conversation. So if you see someone that you know hasn't spoken, stop and just say, hey, tell me what you think about this. And give that person a chance. Bring them into the conversation. Monitor your talk time to make sure that you're not talking too much and make sure that you're giving other people the time to talk. All right, so you've got your goal set for yourself, and I've set the group goal that we're going to all speak at least one time. So for this first question that I'm going to ask you, we're going to do round robin. And what that means is we're going to start with one person, and then we will go to the next, until everybody around the room has spoken at least one time. So your first question is, when you looked at the ideas and values, I know you put a little dot by a lot of them, but which one did you circle that you felt like was most relevant to the passage? So for example, the one that I would have circled would have been wisdom, because if you are a person who's highly effective and you have implemented these 7 habits into your life, then I would say you're pretty wise. So as we go around the group, you're going to just say one word. You're not going to tell why you chose that word. You would just say wisdom, knowledge, habit, whatever it is that you have chosen, okay? So we're going to go around right now. You're going to pause the video and give you guys a chance for every single person to just tell which idea and value stands out to you the most when you read this passage. Do that now. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to just talk candidly just for a second about why you chose that idea or value. Share those now and pause the video. Now, my next question to you is, which of these 7 habits do you consider the most important? And why did you choose that habit as the most important one? So now you are not looking at the idea and value sheet anymore. You're actually looking at the passage itself. The habits are numbered 1 through 7. So when you refer to one of the habits, refer to it as, well, in number one, the habit says to be proactive. And then tell me why you think proactive, if that's the one you've chosen, as the most important habit. Tell me why you think that. So you're going to spend a few minutes discussing that. And again, remember, you don't have to raise your hand. Just talk. And when one person tells their opinion on which one is the most important habit and why, I would like for you other guys to just join in and either disagree or agree, or maybe state a different habit altogether, and spend just a moment discussing that. You can pause the video while you do that. Your next question is, which single word in the text, other than the word habit, best supports the overall meaning of these habits? And why do you think that word is important? So you're going to look back through each habit, and you might circle the word effective or creative or understanding. What you're going to find a word in the passage itself that you feel like best supports the overall meaning of all these habits. Circle it. As your peers talk about what they circled, you might want to circle those words too. Mark your passage up, annotate it, and explain why you chose that word. Why is that word important? You can pause the video and do that now. So which habits on the list do you disagree with or have any questions about? And tell me why. You might not find any of the habits on the list that you disagree with. You may think that they're all important. But have that discussion. How are two or more of the habits related? And note which habits and explain how they're related or connected. So if you had to pick two of these 7 habits, or more than 2, tell how they're connected, how they're related, and why they're important to each other. If you were going to add an 8th habit for our school or community, what would that habit be and why? Have a good discussion about this. So how is this practice of these 7 habits related to leadership? Refer to the text. Now, I want you to think on this, because in just a few minutes, you're going to have a writing activity, and you're going to write about how being a highly effective person, how does that make you a good leader? So how do these habits play into you become, if you can implement these habits into your life, how would this help you to be a good leader? So which of these habits is the hardest for you personally to practice, and why? How might you revise your daily life in order to integrate that habit? I've enjoyed hearing answers to this question, because a lot of times it means that we have to humble ourselves and we have to admit some of our flaws. And we have to be vulnerable and let other people know. Yesterday, when we did this seminar live with Cohort A, I heard a lot of people say that I have trouble working in a group because I'm not a very good team player, because I like to be the leader. I like to be the boss, or I like for people to think the same way I do. I have trouble delegating things because people might not do them as good as I do. So these are the kind of things that are, or maybe you procrastinate on some things and you're not proactive. Think on which of these habits is the hardest for you personally, and then be willing to share, talk to each other about that. Okay, hopefully you had some good discussion today. In Cohort A, I heard I was so nervous about doing this. I didn't like talking, or the thoughts of having to talk in front of everyone. But this was really fun. I think it helps us to get to know each other. This is my very favorite way to teach, because it's facilitating. You guys get to do most of the talking, and you learn from each other. You hear different ideas. So hopefully you opened up a little bit today and you shared. I can't wait to hear about your seminar. And next week we are, like I said, we're going to do another one, and hopefully this just got you warmed up for it. So thank you for your focused and thoughtful participation in our seminar today. As part of the post-seminar process, I would like for you to please review the goal that you set for yourself and reflect in writing to what extent you met your goal. So look at the top of your page where you wrote down today's goal for yourself. Did you meet that goal? Did you exceed the goal? Just do some self-reflection right now. You can pause the video while you do that. Now, so how do you think we did as a group? Hopefully we exceeded our group goal because our very first question, everybody had to talk. So our group goal was that everybody speak at least once. So hopefully everybody did. And then hopefully everybody shared during the discussion of all the questions that I've asked you. So hopefully you, on a scale from 1 to 5, score a 6 on that, hopefully. All right, now you're going to do a little writing activity. So Miss Blackman's going to give you a piece of notebook paper. And at the top, I just want you to write the definition of what a leader is. Brainstorm how the words leader and effective are related. After reading and discussing the 7 habits of highly effective people, write a personal essay in which you define the term leadership. What is leadership? Then in your essay, I want you to explain how the 7 habits that we just studied could help you become a more effective leader of the people around you, and refer to the text in detail to support your exploration. So you're going to cite textual evidence from your text. So for example, your essay may talk about how if you are a leader in your classroom or among your friends, whether it be your youth group or your Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, or maybe your soccer team or baseball team, or just in your classroom in general, anywhere that you surround yourself with friends or people, if you're going to be a leader in that group, how does being proactive help you? Take an initiative, making sure that you have a plan with a goal in mind, an end goal in mind, developing strategies to reach that goal, and making sure that you include everybody in your team, on your team or in your group. How can you include them all? How can you make them feel seen and heard and make them feel important? This is what an effective leader does. And you get all these ideas from each other to accomplish an end goal. So being an effective person definitely would prepare you for being a leader. So how can you become a better leader? That's what you're going to write in your essay. So if you don't have time to finish this essay in class today, then you may take it home and work on it over the weekend, and you can turn it into me next Thursday. If you do have time in class, then put your name on it and turn it in and give it to Miss Blackman. I can't wait for next week to do the seminar in person with you on the Sneeches. We will do that after check-ins on on Thursday and Friday. So on Thursday when you come to school, you are going to have your math check-in, and on Friday when you come to school, you're going to have your reading check-in. And then afterwards, we will spend some time having another seminar. Can't wait. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to submit your reading logs today. I miss you guys, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you for your participation and being brave and courageous.